All right, Joe, we're live.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Dude, just, spent the morning on phone calls. So my favorite thing.
Oh, that is my favorite thing.
Yeah.
I'm a talker.
Yeah.
I love
Hey, real quick, non-crypto news. Did you see?
Which one?
So I was kind of curious the last couple of weeks why Disney wasn't saying anything about the
Texas thing?
No, Disney wasn't saying anything about the state of Florida killing their special district that they have.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, they're not saying a word. What the hell's going on? Why aren't they saying anything? You would think they'd be out there lobbying or running spots, something. They put pressure on them not to do it. Well, DeSantis passed it, yada, yada, yada. Well, it turns out Disney sent a note last week to their top tier investors saying the legislature and the governor didn't realize that there is a clause in the Florida law that requires the bond debt to be completely paid off before anything can be done touching the district whatsoever. So Disney was like, don't worry about it. These guys don't know
what the fuck they're doing. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, there was a lot of speculation that even if that deal was going to go through, because I don't think it gets enforced until June of 23 or something like that. But they're also speculating two things. One, that it's a distraction move because they've been gerrymandering all the districts in Florida.
Yeah.
And they're breaking up all the minority. Districts. Yeah. They're taking out all of the African-American districts. So they're taking away the voting power. They're probably going to go after the Jewish districts too in Southeast Florida. And that's the real motive of all this. But the two things. One, if it does go through, who gets stuck paying the tab?
No, it did pass, but.
No, I mean, if it gets, when it ever starts.
They can't do anything until the bond is paid off.
Well, yeah, it doesn't take effect until June of 23.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is that the bond all gets stuck on the Central Florida voters to pay.
Yeah, no, it's like $2,000 to $3,000 for every resident in those two counties.
And the other cool thing I thought was kind of funny is, so a judge in Texas said, hey, Disney, if you're sick of that anti-business idiot in Florida running that state, come to Texas. We'll welcome you with open arms. You can do whatever you want. Come to Bend County. So, I mean, I thought it was kind of funny coming from Texas.
Yeah, right, right.
But they're the most pro-business state in the union.
Well,
so
the Republicans here didn't care about the voters in Orlando because it's Democrats, right? Yeah. So that's why they weren't worried about it. But that's 17,000 jobs and billions in revenue that stretches far beyond just those two counties. So anyway, I just thought it was funny that they can't get competent attorneys in the Florida legislature to say, excuse me, this is not enforceable.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to just go into a rant on DeSantis, but I think everybody knows that he's a couple cans shy of a six-pack there. In his ambition, I mean, it's like, I kind of think, well, I don't know. I'm not going to go there right now. I don't want to.
All right, I got something else stupid to talk about. So let's talk about somebody else that I think is stupid. So the news yesterday was this, Optimism is doing this new DAO structure and they're doing, the airdrop. I think that was one of the stories you want to talk about today. And, they're doing they did this long tweet thread about how they're trying to do airdrops right. And they're going to structure it so that, it's over time. There's more than one airdrop and they're going to change the model. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. Right. So it's this big announcement, but how far down in the thread was this? Third tweet in the thread is just classic. Like evidently there's not actually a messaging or marketing person at Optimism. Web3 offers an opportunity to rebuild the entire internet, to align it with the values of its users rather than to extract. Many have lost sight of this in pursuit of cheap fees and a quick buck. To forget these values is to neglect what made crypto so promising to begin with. And what they're getting at throughout the rest of the thread is, if you're not on Ethereum, Optimism is a layer 2 on Ethereum, and you've been chasing cheap fees on these other soulless chains, as they point out in their graphic, then you're basically the scum of DeFi, right? And I like, look, yes, there is an audience of maximalist Ethereum people in DeFi, but they are big enough to sustain your layer 2, right? And whose idea was it that, hey, I got an idea. We're doing this big announcement, big launch, DAO structure, everything else, and let's attack anybody who's used any other layer 1 in DeFi and call them soulless and call them greedy and tell them they're misaligned with the values of crypto. I'm just like, who's the idiot doing this shit? Like, seriously, who says, oh yeah, you know what? That's a good idea. Well, what it is they're a bubble. They're a bunch of maximalists who are all together in their Ethereum cult, and they're just clueless to what messaging sounds like when it comes out. And I mean, there's just like zero need for this shit. Like, well, zero need.
It seems to me that, you want to attract money from those other chains and encourage those other users to come over to your chain and do stuff. You don't want to just slam the door in all their face.
Exactly.
And I don't know. I mean, Optimism versus Polygon.
Yeah. Well, Polygon at least is on Ethereum, right? They're talking about Phantom, Avalanche.
Oh yeah.
Binance, Algorand, whomever. I mean, that's what they're talking about. Any other layer ones.
But look, I mean, my point is that I think that Polygon is, that's their giant competition. Okay. Sure. Polygon, Arbitrum. Yeah. What's the Vitalik's mom's one called? Metis or something like that? What's that? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's their competition.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because there's also stuff going on Ethereum. It's like getting people to Optimism from Ethereum main. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. It's like
the stupidest thing. It's just, it's like, what? You gain nothing from this. Like, if you think you're going to galvanize the Ethereum maximalists to only use Optimism, you're nuts. Like, there are a ton of Ethereum maximalists that are on the board at Polygon, right? Now, they're not slandering Polygon in this because Polygon's on Ethereum, but they're basically saying, if you've done anything else on any other chain, you're a piece of shit. And that's we're all about the purity of Ethereum and layer 2s on Ethereum. And it's like,
the message, what I would be saying is like, okay, you've had your fun playing on the cheap chains. Now come on back to the big leagues and let us show you what we got. Something like that. It's like, make yourself better, but say we get it. Yeah. Not like just tar and feather everybody. It makes no sense.
I mean, look, there's, like I said, there's an Ethereum maximalist market. And maybe that's all they want. Maybe all they want is the big institutional players that somehow are, or have a lot of money that are maximalists. But to me, it's just stupid. Like, I've never done anything on Optimism. I'm not going to go now. Right. I mean, what's the point? There are plenty of yield opportunities, token opportunities, and projects on the soulless layer 1s that I like, that I don't have any need to go through the bullshit of trying to get onto your layer 2. Why bother?
I'll tell you, just mention the airdrop real quick so I don't have to talk about it later. If anybody's interested, I didn't have any eligibility, but everybody else I know.
I do.
You did go? Okay.
Yeah. No, I haven't gone. I have eligibility for the airdrop. I looked at the list.
No, I mean, did you, have you pasted your address in yet?
No, I haven't. I have, but I looked at
optimism.io/governance and go to the bottom of the page.
I get, I bridged to Polygon. You should be.
I didn't see it wasn't giving me anything. That's what's weird. Where did you?
Are you using the right wallet?
I mean, because I've been bridging back and forth to Polygon for years.
That's what I mean. It says bridge to. Look, I'll take their coins and dump them, but I've also made on-chain donations to Gitcoin.
Okay, you see, most of the people got the stuff that I know got active participant in DAO governance across the.
I've got some votes that probably count for some of that too.
Priced out of, see, it's not showing me eligible. I put my wallet in, it's not showing me eligible.
I'll check it. I've got multiple wallets I have to check, but potentially, what's the price of OP?
Of what?
What's the price of the token, or is it not on the market yet?
No, I don't know. There was speculation as to what it was going to be, because a lot of people were getting like 200-300.
Looks like I would get about 1,700 of them.
Oh, well, they're talking about like $10 is what the speculation
per
is.
token.
in some of the channels, that's what, that one channel I'm in.
Yeah.
With the Lord.
Well,
yeah. I mean,
I'll certainly take those tokens and dump them.
Yeah, optimism, number one, right?
Yeah, dude, I that's like what, 1,700 tokens? I'll take 17 grand.
Hell yeah, for doing nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. Used bridges while being a regularly active user on L1. I mean, God, we were with all that stuff going on in last year and with the Doki stuff and all their site stuff. That's all L1. An explorer's mindset with an interest in
maybe the still active on ETH thing might be the issue for you. Yeah. Like, have you done any recent active trades on Ethereum mainnet lately?
No.
That may be what's killing you.
Yeah. Multi-sig signer, DAO voter, repeat out. But, when I saw the other people's in one of my channels, they're like, where they were eligible, all of them were eligible on DAO voter. And I don't know, they didn't have anything about the Ethereum bridging thing.
Well, I've got DAO voter. I've got Gitcoin contributions, multiple. I guess it's just per. And I have done active ETH trades in the last, 2 weeks, and I've bridged to Polygon.
Yeah. Well, let's put your wallet in here. I'll put the link in the comments here.
Okay. Cool.
So everybody can check, and you just go paste your wallet in. And
anyway, stupid move on their part, I think, to offend the folks who are on other layer ones, but whatever.
Yeah.
Who knows? Bank of America, the bank that hates customers that are in crypto, but talks a lot about the value of crypto and where it's going, says crypto can outperform stocks amid a potential Fed-propelled recession.
Yeah.
So they're basically reporting the data that if the Fed pulls the levers that cause the recession that may be necessary to pull inflation back, that crypto could theoretically outperform the stock market, which, we'd certainly love to see crypto outperform the stock market. So I don't want a recession necessarily, but it would be nice to see, nice to have.
Well, look, if they really want to tackle inflation, you gotta, slam on the brakes here. But
yep.
At the same, it's like we've been running 14 years on free money, basically, and that is not sustainable.
Yeah.
So that's got to somehow be dealt with. But of course, you want a soft landing. The speculation I hear from everybody about inflation, treasury types, is that people are just spending too much money. They say there's no supply chain issue.
Right.
That the ports are humming. They're all backed up. It's just full of stuff. It's just everybody's spending money. So until people stop spending money, you're not going to be able. And then, of course, the war, the gas component is always a heavy influencer. And I'm hearing about palm oil and other things are getting ready to go up, which I guess is in like 87% of products, palm oil. So, it's just everybody has too much money.
Yeah.
And we're consuming too much. So I don't know. But to me, it has to get kind of slowed down. And I think when it does, I think the banks are finally figuring out that people are going to start diversifying into crypto to hedge. It makes sense.
Yeah.
If it would just decouple a little bit better.
Totally agree, man. So speaking of the market, I think you had a video commentary you wanted to bring up.
Oh, on Bitcoin testing support.
Yeah, there you go.
One. Okay, hold on. Let me just get this up. This is actually quite humorous. Okay, let me pause it so everybody gets to see the whole thing when I get the screen there. All right. Now this one is called Bitcoin testing support.
Are you sharing it?
I'm getting ready to. Here it comes.
Okay.
You know me. All right. So here it is. Gotta love Telegram. Bitcoin testing support. Boop, boop. Ah! I was just cracking up, and I thought that was just.
I love the fucking sound effects, Joe. That was awesome.
Ah, boom. Not to say that I've never done anything like that. I wouldn't be jumping like that. I'd be jumping off. But
what did he think was going to happen?
I don't know, man.
I think he thought he was going to stick the landing on the other side.
The BTC Maxi, I guess, But anyhow, I just thought that was humorous. I had to share that one.
Funny as shit. Yeah. Let's see what else I have. Oh, another report. Let me get this back up. This is a report by Bitstamp. Crypto set to overtake traditional investments within 10 years. Now, Bitstamp has a bias. They are a crypto exchange who also has some questionable past behavior by its previous owners. But said the survey revealed 88% of institutional respondents and 75% of retail investors believe crypto will see mainstream adoption within a decade. I mean, that's the big part of the battle, right? It's not the actual adoption part. It's the perception that it will happen. So making it inevitable makes the adoption happen, right? You have this kind of wave of people saying it, thinking it, believing it, so that when it comes time to actually do it, it's not a big deal anymore. It's not like this giant risky thing. I've been talking to this guy that's in his 80s that I know that's fairly well off. At one time, Joe, he owned 2,800 units in New York and Manhattan and Brooklyn.
Wow.
Yeah. Now he owns a ton of units down here. He lives down here on the beach and whatever. But anyway, he's well off, and he's like, look, my wife and I are living on rental income and we're living on savings, and we're not working a job anymore. So I need to make sure that this money is going to last, but I'm also really worried about inflation and where the market's going to go. And so he's like, Brad, would you teach me what I need to do to invest in crypto? So he's bought some Bitcoin, he's bought some ETH on Binance. He's DCAing into it as it goes down. And I got him to buy a little FTM. So I think this weekend I'm going to set him up with a MetaMask wallet and do a little staking just for shits and giggles. It'd be interesting to see a true boomer actually doing that. So
no, he's not a boomer, dude. He's too old.
Yeah, he is. Huh?
88?
Yeah, he's in his, I don't know where he's in his 80s. What's boomer?
Boomers start after World War II. Like half the 40s on. I just know because my dad is 80.
What's the boomer
2 or 1, and he was born in 40. So I think your guy was probably born in the 30s. I think it's called either the
46 best. He's boomer. 46 to 64.
But he's not 80 then. He's in his 70s.
I don't know what year he was born.
Well, if he's 80s, he's definitely 42
early 40s
or less.
Yeah, you're right.
But but I get your point. I just don't, when people call you boomer, I don't equate you with being 88 years old. That's
I'm not a boomer. X. I'm 1 year outside of the range. So
you're Gen X, man.
Don't fuck with me, people.
Gen X, baby. I remember when I used to make fun of all the Gen Xers.
Yeah. Anyway, the perceptions are, I think, what's important.
Yeah.
And I think that mindset of this is becoming inevitable. Although I wish I knew where I saw that video on Twitter, but I watched some guy interviewing 2 20, 21-year-olds girls at a club, all cutely dressed and half trashed. He said to him, he walked over, he said, I'll offer you right now, you pick $100 or 1 Bitcoin. $100 cash or 1 Bitcoin. And both of them are like, I don't want that fake money shit. Give me that $100. I want that cash in my pocket right now. I want the $100. And he goes, and I'm like, okay, so they just don't know what Bitcoin's worth. And then he goes, well, you do know that a Bitcoin is worth $40,000. And one of the girls is like, I don't care. It's not real money. I want the real money. I want the $100. And I'm like, holy crap. If I saw my daughter on a video saying that, I would totally lose my shit.
Well, your daughter would take the Bitcoin.
Of course she would.
Not a dumb shit. Okay.
Of course she would.
It reminds me of these things maybe this is the 90s when they were going around interviewing kids, and it was in DC, and they were interviewing people on the mall. So I lived there, and they're like, they didn't even know who George Washington was. Oh. These are American kids. You would think they would know that.
Yeah.
They didn't know who, Madonna was a musician to them, not, I guess the mother of Jesus or something like that. It wasn't a religious figure. It was it was a pop culture.
Celebrity.
These kids don't know shit. I'm sorry.
No, I get it.
I'm saying a lot of people our age don't know shit either. So it's just, there's this, I always thought everybody wanted people to be educated. And then, as I got, started going through college and work, and I realized there's a large chunk of this country that does not want people educated.
No,
because they run all those extractive businesses.
Yeah, it keeps them from making intelligent, analytical decisions.
Yeah,
voting, everything else.
You want to look at the long game, not the short game. Go ahead.
So I saw this thread this morning, this tweet this morning. This guy, Bird. He does a lot of good investment threads. Anyway, he said, just found out that a close friend has to withdraw all of his Robinhood ETH at a rate of 5,000 USD per day. Meanwhile, they allow unlimited size on deposits. He has an alarm set every morning. He is on day 50 of the 400 plus days required for him to exit the platform.
Wow. Got a lot of ETH.
But wouldn't you say, like, if you're Robinhood and the guy says, hey, man, I need to withdraw my ETH. I mean, it's astounding to me that they don't try to work with the guy to get him to keep it in and give him whatever he wants to, you know what I mean? And keep him in the platform. It's just freaking astounding. Have you done
anything on Robinhood?
I played around with it. I think I bought a couple of shares of like Tesla at one point and screwed around with it. Everybody loves it. It's kind of like Snapchat. I think that's the worst interface in the world. Robinhood's obviously a much better interface, but it just doesn't, I don't necessarily go for the gamification stuff very well. Mm-hmm. My brain just doesn't work that way. And so I don't get sucked into apps that are gamified. I love the dose of dopamine I get from Twitter, but otherwise those don't really work for me, but I can certainly understand why people become addicted to it. But I just can't fathom that Robinhood hasn't figured out how to take care of large investors.
I mean, I guess what I was asking is, can he trade that out on the platform for something else that he can withdraw more rapidly?
Trade it to USD and then just withdraw the cash. Evidently, he's somebody that wants to hold Ethereum, and so he's trying to withdraw it from the wallet that they added. Right?
Probably doesn't want to create a tax event.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, that's stupid. If you could convert to USD and withdraw it all at once, why they should allow him to just withdraw all the ETH at once too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, there may be security issues. It may be an issue with the way their the company they use to hold the tokens for them, because
they have a custodial solution, right?
Right. So it may be that, but at the end of the day, you should probably figure out a solution for big investors, because imagine if he needed the cash. I guess he would sell to USD, but anyway, 400 days of withdrawals.
Yeah, he needs an intern to deal with that.
What's that? 400
Get up
times,
at 6 every day and withdraw.
That's 200 grand worth of ETH at least. No, plus 50.
5,000 a day times 400 days. You said?
Yeah,
it's a lot.
Yeah, it's anyway.
It sounds like about 600 ETH to me, or 500 something ETH.
Yeah.
5,000. That's like 1.67-ish or 1.7-ish times 400.
That's a ton.
So that's about 700. Yeah.
I wish I had 700. Also in news, I don't have this pulled up, but Robinhood did like an advance notice that they were going to start laying off people in advance of their quarterly. Chuck, that's a great idea. Chuck said business op for people to sign over their Robinhood accounts for a payday loan, right? Leverage it and sell it off.
Interesting.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, no, their stock was getting crushed yesterday.
Yeah.
So
now, did you see that Tesla was getting crushed?
Yeah, because that was the article I was trying to find. There's a huge issue. It turns out that he also pledged another big chunk of his equity to get a $13 million line for 5x coverage. So they're basically saying that it's triggering a sell-off of Tesla that when just the day he did the Twitter deal, he lost $29 billion.
Yeah, it's astounding. It's but here's the thing. Before you offer, what was the total on this thing? 54 billion.
I've heard 53, but everything I see now is 44. I don't know.
Maybe it's 44. Yeah. But before you offer it, don't you figure out how you're going to get the money and then think through the impact it's going to have on your other business if you put up your stock as collateral?
Gee, I don't know if you do that, right?
I mean, this is not a stupid man. It's like, dude, think through your fucking action. But look, he's never been one to think through the shit he says. So why would it make any difference now?
I did hear he has one big initiative there. He's changing the character limit at Twitter to 420.
Dude.
But also, no, I heard that.
It doesn't even rank high enough for a dad joke.
Yeah, no. But what was funny is
so
that
bad.
Everybody goes the fact that the Twitter board accepted the offer tells you something about Twitter, that they all know it's dying on the vine. So the fact that they even took the offer was like, that means that they see no future there. The other thing was that the board of Tesla and SpaceX are evidently pissed because now they're like, okay, he's be distracted by another thing again.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem. That would be my concern if I was a big holder of Tesla. Is how is he going to divide his time up? He already has to be totally stressed out, like from day to day. Well, Tesla's recovered some. I almost bought some yesterday, and I decided not to. Wish I had. Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
But you would be holding it. You wouldn't have flipped out of it.
No, I probably wouldn't have. I would have waited this up. Because look, at the end of the day, that you cannot deny the value of that company. Like, you just can't.
Well, the only thing that always bothers me about Tesla is all this competition that's coming, and the amount of government handouts Tesla has gotten for someone who's an avowed libertarian. I mean, you just research that. They've gotten literally tens of billions, if not hundreds of billions of dollars in government assistance to build that company.
Well, most of that money didn't go to them. It went to the buyers of the cars that got the rebates.
Well, I mean, but it's demand pull type stuff. Course, so it creates demand for the products, and it basically makes it, to where you can sell it. But the thing is that, when now with everybody else coming online with all their products now, I mean, that electric F-150 and, well, we got electric G-Wagons coming out now. We got electric, everything is coming electric. Ford.
Don't buy an electric Chrysler, whatever you fucking do. They don't have technicians. 2.5 weeks of waiting for our fucking car.
Oh, really? Oh, you bought a new one, or is it?
No, we've had this plug-in. My wife has this Chrysler Pacifica hybrid. It's a plug-in hybrid, right?
The minivan?
Yeah.
Yeah, you talked about this one. Okay, got it.
And it's got issues because all Chryslers are pieces of shit, basically. But I bought a Mac Daddy warranty, so it covers the rental car and all that good shit, and it covers everything on the car. But 2.5 weeks because they don't have techs. I had to go to a dealership 15 miles away because my dealership doesn't have a tech. It's like, is there no mechanic in this shop that goes, oh, holy shit, they have a shortage of techs. I think I'll go get certified. It's like, demand whatever you want in salary. Anyway.
Well, yeah. There's more inflation problem coming there.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Sorry.
Let me see what else I got. Oh, anyway, Robinhood's tanking, problems, whatever.
What is?
Why don't you pull up yours? Oh, one more thing. This was great to see because I'm a big fan of Revest. They had an exploit a few weeks ago, I think about a month ago, and was concerned about how well they were going to do. And just a reminder for everybody what Revest is. Revest is the platform that generates NFTs for locking up tokens, right? So, and there are all kinds of triggers you can set for unlocks of those tokens. So in the case of a founder of a project, the team's tokens may be on a vesting schedule, or they may be on a performance schedule, right? So you may say, well, the team gets their tokens once a month after 12 months, proportionally percentage of the total tokens they're supposed to get paid out to these wallets, et cetera, et cetera. Or if the market cap hits whatever, $100 million, then they get 25% of their tokens released to them. So Revest is a technology that allows you to configure this either programmatically or through their interface to lock up tokens. I was really excited to see that SpiritSwap has set up these Revest NFTs for their lockup periods for people getting rewards from Spirit for locking up tokens. So they're utilizing these Revest NFTs to lock them up. And you and I were talking this morning about the potential of using something like this for something else we're working on. Mm-hmm. But really excited to see Revest doing this because I love the guys at SpiritSwap and I love the project Revest has, and I think there's a lot that these guys are going to be able to do with this technology. So just excited to see that partnership.
Yeah, I mean, all the markets look up. I mean, Dow's up 1.25%, 422 points. NASDAQ up 1.5%, 186 points. S&P up 1.42. So, I mean, yesterday I think was an 800 down day, or was that the day before? I don't know. But the idea is, I mean, I don't see, they come and say, oh, 50 basis point hike in May. Everybody freaks out for a day. And now we're back to the races again.
It's so bizarre, man.
And then crypto just seems to be crabbing, which
totally.
Wait and decide what to do.
The slow grind down.
Yeah. But I think it's at the point where, I mean, when the market, I mean, are people now shaving off and putting stuff into crypto? Does it take the market to really tank for that to happen? People aren't dumping crypto.
Yeah, so. I will tell you though that it does look more and more likely that people start treating crypto as a haven, right? And do we get to the point where we have this breaking away, right? Where the correlation between the general economy and stocks breaks for Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever. And, does it take a massive financial downturn to make that happen where the big money all piles into crypto because they're like, this shit's a shitstorm, so let's go over here. I don't know. I don't know if it's that time or not. And I don't know if that'll ever happen at all, but it would certainly be a welcome change that the decoupling would occur.
Yeah, I think, just this data you were talking about a few stories back, the 10-year out thing, I think everybody knows where it's going to be in 2030.
Yeah.
2025, 2030, whatever. The question is then always, do you just buy shit and hold it and hope you got the right stuff and forget about it? Or do you trade and try to grow and work at it and then, take profits and wait to get there? I mean, I think both strategies have merit, but, again, I was talking to one of my treasury buddies and it's like, they're like, look, this isn't like the S&P 500 where you just go throw a shitload of money into it and then come back and look at it in 30 years and go, oh yeah, great. It's like, I said, you have to watch it. So this is a guy who, I said, dude, you need to get in and start, playing in this space. And so he went in, I got him to buy some ETH last year and he's looking at it. He goes, oh, it's at like $3,000. And I'm like, he goes, didn't I buy it at $3,000? And I said, I don't know. I think you bought it like in the teens, like 1,800 or something. And he looks at it and goes, oh yeah, shit. Sure enough. 1,700 I bought it at.
Nice.
And I'm like, well, dude, you're up fucking 80% for the year. You crypto whale, you, so, but now I told him, I said, I would sell it now, but to be honest, and wait a little bit because, I just feel like there has to be the capitulation move. I don't see how we bounce high off of this crab. I think it has to fucking just plummet and hit the bottom and spike.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you don't get the fresh money in. Everybody's kind of just hanging. I mean, I was following in your guys' chat. I was reading all of XBT stuff last couple of days. And, just the fact that
Sean. Hey, Sean watches us sometimes.
Oh, he does.
Shout out to Sean.
Hey, buddy.
My favorite maximalist.
Oh, he's awesome. I love reading his stuff.
He's a great guy.
I mean, he doesn't like anything else, but, his points are valid. I mean, everything he said is true, because a lot of everything else is aspirational in a lot of ways at this point. We're trying to get to where there aren't the rug pulls, and we're trying to get to institutional grade. It's just not there yet.
Yeah.
But super smart guy.
Chuck said, I don't think that the linkage breaks until the TVL and crypto is somewhere close to traditional markets because traditional markets have no incentive to let their investors leave. Once hedge funds are trading DeFi instruments instead of traditional ones, the sheep will follow. Let's help the hedgies do that. Yeah. Well, look, I think there's some truth there. I do think we're seeing more and more indicators of more and more institutional money coming in. But yeah, there needs to be a bigger wave probably until that happens. But I'd certainly love to see it happen. But also, don't forget too, the Gen Zers and all, and that that crew, the teenagers, early 20s, they've never really played in traditional finance market. Right.
So to me, I think that we have to remember that that segment also grows up and gets more and more money. Yep. And they're already over here.
Yeah.
So I think that what to Chuck's point, we have to get to where the people that aren't here yet start coming over. When Blackstone's telling everybody 50 basis points in crypto, when, Goldman's now one of the biggest buyers on the street, when the banks hold more blockchain patents than anybody else. I remember, I don't know what it is today, but I remember a couple of years ago, it was like B of A and I think JP Morgan held more blockchain related patents than anyone.
right?
That they want to steer their customers into it because that's where they're going to get fees.
Yep.
And until we get to, I mean, I don't ever think that these guys in our age group or a little bit younger are going to move all their money that way. No, but I think, I mean, how many of them actually own physical gold?
Right.
I mean, how much of their portfolio was in physical gold? 1, 2, 3% maybe.
Well, it's funny. That's, I mentioned because the guy that I was talking about earlier, the guy in his 80s mentioned, that he was probably going to do some stuff with gold. And I said, well, in your Binance US account, you can buy PAX-G, which is tied to the price of gold, right? And pegged to the price of gold. So you can actually be leveraging that without having to actually go on the gold market. So.
Yeah. I mean, I like the idea of owning gold because, look, man, the city's burning down or something and you got to rock and roll out. I mean, that's how you get through checkpoints and stuff like that. I mean, when they send like operators into war zones, they usually carry belts with like 10 Krugerrands in them so that if they ever get rolled by the bad guys, they can buy their way out pretty quickly.
Right.
Gold is portable like that. You couldn't really hand over a Ledger Nano if somebody's, arresting you in a foreign country and they could verify it. But a gold thing, they all know what that means.
Yeah, it won't be long till the border guards have a wallet set up and just scan the QR code and send it over to them.
Yeah. So, but it's good. But again, as I say a lot,
That's the token we're going to launch.
Yeah.
We're going to launch the border guard bribe token.
Yeah. Yeah. Drain the wallets. But you can't carry gold bars around very well. I think if you're going for that level of portability, I mean, the last generation, it was always diamonds. When people were fleeing like European war zones, it was diamonds because, you can obviously hide those on yourself, pretty easily.
Sure.
But, I think it goes there soon. It's just when. I mean, obviously we're not the earliest players in crypto, and I've only been into it for like 5 years. Right. We talk to people all the time, like, your buddy XBT, he's like, I think I heard him saying something like 2010-ish or 9-ish or something. I mean, way at the beginning.
No, he was way at the beginning, and he's a market maker, and he writes his own algorithms. The guy's brilliant. He's just brilliant. And and look, he's a true believer. Well, I will tell you this. He's a maximalist only because he believes in decentralization and he thinks that Bitcoin is the only thing that has decentralization.
Yeah.
He's willing to look at anything that's decentralized. He's not tied to it for Bitcoin. He just doesn't believe it is. Now, he and I get into arguments all the time about these things take time. It's a progression. Bitcoin had problems. It wasn't decentralized, blah, 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 blah. And I still think there's some arguments that it's not completely decentralized, but he's a reasonable person that just wants to see decentralization, which is great, so.
What I like is his tone.
Yeah.
So many of these chats get toxic so fast, and everybody just starts, lobbing grenades. And he has an ability to kind of discuss things with people in a way that's not condescending and it's not authoritative, but just by what he says, you go, oh yeah, I didn't think of that. This guy knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And he tends to do a lot of, for a BTC Maxi, he shorts a lot.
Yeah, he does.
But, but then he's also setting longs up as well, where he thinks the short's going. So he's just got his stack sitting in the middle, and he's sort of straddled on both sides and making money off the movement. Yep. I mean, it's brilliant.
No, he's done a brilliant look. I mean, he's had years of screwing up to get to the point where now he's got a system, and he's very smart about it. So
yeah, it's cool.
Joe, that's all I got. You have anything else you want to bring up?
Well, the only thing I was going to say was that, Fidelity is now offering, let me switch over, where you can buy buy BTC in your 401k. Right. I thought was kind of interesting.
That's awesome.
Let me see if I got it right here.
Here they come.
Who's that? Your family?
No, the Fidelity.
Oh, the herd. Yeah, here comes the herd. No, I mean, when people like, my parents and their friends, and they're in their, late 70s, 80s, are talking about, allocating money into crypto, it's catching on. Yeah. So this is, the fact that you can now do it on a 401k on Fidelity, which, I don't know how much money they're managing, but it's in the trillions.
Right.
It is big. And then also there was something cool on OpenSea, an article on Cointelegraph I know a lot of people want to know more about NFTs, and evidently there's a lot more excitement going on and intensity over there in these top 10 NFT projects.
Nice.
New liquidity coming into the market. I don't know if it's coming from the crypto side or if it's people coming in with fiat. I suspect it's a little bit more of the latter. Oh, wow, interesting. Gibraltar rolls out new virtual asset regulation to combat market abuse. Also, New York trying to ban BTC mining that don't use green power. And then I saw another article that said 60% of BTC mining is now coming from green power. Wow. So anyhow, this is a good article. I'll put the link in. It's about OpenSea and it's about NFTs for anybody who's interested in that. Because it talks a lot about, I mean, I have a lot of stuff on OpenSea. I mean, I do a lot on there, but it's a good article on all the hot projects right now. Okay. Moonbirds, what's going on buying, Clone X is another one, but there's 10 good projects here for anybody that's looking at NFTs. I'm not in any of them. I haven't had a chance to look at it, but this is a good article to check out in case you want to really kind of gives you a good overview of the NFT.
Don't forget to send me that link so I can put it in the show notes.
Okay, I'll forward all this over. I did paste it into the comments in case anybody wants it. And then this was the airdrop for Optimism. At the bottom of this page, optimism.io/governance. Scroll all the way down. You can just put your wallet address in here if you don't want to connect. And then that was patent stuff and then stock market. No, I'm good.
Awesome. That's all I got today, buddy.
All right, man.
Hey, post that link to me in the Telegram. Yeah.
I'm going to forward all the stuff over to you.
Perfect.
In bulk.
Perfect.
All right, man.
Everybody have a great day. We love you. We appreciate you. Please, when you get a chance, take just a minute to give us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your podcasts, and also on YouTube. You can subscribe there, click the little bell so you get alerts when we release a new episode of this and Mission DeFi. And also please like and review us. You can also visit missiondefi.com to catch all of our past episodes of this and Mission DeFi, and provide us feedback or suggest guests. We are open on all the major social networks to have a chat. So thanks for listening. Appreciate your time. Joe, have a great afternoon. I will
you too, buddy.
Talk to you guys later.